Well, there y'all are. Good morning, late morning, very late morning. I am going to do coffee in the percolator. Just like I promised y'all, I am just finishing up. I did already fix one early this morning. But let me tilt you down. Got a lot going on. I'm making brunch and I'm going to make another pot of coffee. So this is an 8-ounce percolator, an 8-cup percolator. And I've got hot water in here, and I just filtered it through the tap, and that's what I put in here. You want to make sure in the inside of it, you can see, you don't want the water to go over that little pork spout. If you do, you'll have a mess on your stove. So don't fill it up, even though you're tempted to do so. Inside the percolator is this little stand. Yeah, this is stained with delicious coffee. Yours will be silver if you get a new one. And you got this little spring on here. You want to hold on to that. That's the pieces you need. Don't think that's dirty. It's just flavorful. You don't want to clean it. That's just a part of a good percolator. So you just put that in there. Can you all see? Tilt you down. Swipe the comments to the right if you don't want them. That's all you do. You just stick this down in there. Once you get your water in there, and it sits right there on the bottom. That's all you have to worry about. It comes with this little basket. Little metal basket. Once again, I don't wash this. I wash it, but I don't scrub it, and I want that flavor's fine. This is a little top strainer, and here's the inside of the basket. And you got that little thing that you're going to slip down over top of here. Now, all I'm going to do, I don't worry about having number of scoops, and this is just where I keep my coffee in the canister. Let me check this. Check the sausage. I'm just going to fill this about up to right here. So I'm going to fill it up about 1.5 inches in the bottom. I don't like to get coffee in there, but I usually put my finger up. I just tilt it over like this. That's 1 scoop. That's 2, 3. That's 4. And I'm going to put 5 of these because this is just a wooden scoop and it's not really a very deep scoop. But I don't really worry about the number. I just, when I see where I want my coffee level in there, then I know I'm ready. And that's about half full of dry coffee. Then this does not clip in here. It just sort of sits here. You're not going to hear a clip or anything. You just set that on top right there. And then, on your percolator, you've got that already in there. You just put this down over it, just like that. And it's springy because that springs in, and that's what that's for. Now your lid is going to have either a plastic or a glass knob, and the coffee will come up in there, and you can see it jumping up in there. And once again, mine is well used, as you might guess. And you just clip that on there. Make sure your lid's on tight, and we're ready to put it on the stove. Let me take you over here with me. I have been cooking. So here's our sweet potatoes on slow and low. And I'm just going to put my coffee percolator on there. I'm going to turn it on high, and I'm going to let it start doing its magic. We're having sweet potatoes because that's what Mama's been wanting. I'm just letting those cook low and slow. Started out with a little bit of oil, put a little bit of butter, peeled them, sliced them, and they're cooking. And we got a little bit of sausage. And I'm going to make some biscuits and gravy. And we'll have sausage. I don't know if y'all want to stay for all that. It's awful close, aren't we? I don't know if y'all want to stay for the biscuits and all that. Because y'all have seen that a bunch, and I just told you I was going to do coffee. So y'all want to watch me make some biscuits up? Good morning, John and Momma. Hello there, Miss Joyce. How are you? Hey, Gretchen. How are you? Well, of course, coffee time. LOL. Good morning, John. I'll make some biscuits right quick if y'all want to watch. And I really wasn't planning on showing y'all biscuits, but we'll give it a shot. Grab my bowl. And my blending fork. Gotta have both of those little things. I'll use this dough kneader because I think the blended fork is in the dishwasher. This is a for dough, when you're mixing up dough. If you don't have one, pick you up one sometimes. I've lived without one for a long time, but it's awful handy. Let me tilt you down, hope you can see good. Let me put my mat out. There's Mama. Mama, what do you want besides biscuits and gravy and...
Oh, I might get a treat today.
You said you wanted it, and if you asked for it, you get it.
I know what I love that.
Let me tilt you down here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'll be telling you what I'm doing. If you've seen me make biscuits before, this may be different than before because I changed it up a little bit. I'll change something, try something, like something, decide to do something different. I'm going to start out with 2 cups of flour in my bowl. I don't know what that was. 2 cups of flour in my bowl. And I'm going to go a little healthier than I have been doing. I was using just Crisco, hard Crisco, and butter flavored Crisco. But I'm going to go a little healthier than that. I'm going to put just a little bit, a pinch, a scant pinch. This is just baking powder that's just going to help them rise and make them good and soft. I'll pour a little bit in the lid. Show you all how much. About that much right there. I'm also going to put a little sugar. I know that ain't making nothing healthier, but Mama likes them a little sweet. We tried them with a little sugar. Mama said she liked it. I said, well, if Mama likes it, we'll do it. So I'm putting about 2 heaping tablespoons there of sugar. This is all Mama's 50-some-year-old Tupperware. And I'm going to fix them in this flat cast iron griddle. So all I'm going to do is just pour my oil in here. And I will usually use Crisco in this too. But today I'm using oil. Just going to take my clean finger. Just make sure it's all covered. Have that ready to go because you don't want to have to fill that once you start doing your biscuits. Just set it to the side. Can y'all see? I can't see your comments, so I hope the answer is yes, you can see. Let me get my biscuit cutter. As y'all can tell, I like to have everything ready. But that didn't happen today, did it? So, I'm just going to mix these dry ingredients up here. One of y'all sent me this, and I absolutely love it. And to this mixture, I'm just going to add my buttermilk. This is whole cultured buttermilk, and I'm not very, I don't do any of the fancy stuff. I pour it in. That's as fancy as I get. Stir it around. You can see this mixes up really easy, really well. Now I'm going to put some oil in here, vegetable oil. Normally I put Crisco. Today, I'm trying to eat just a little bit healthier, but Mama, will you hand me that butter? Because I'm going to put a little butter in there too. This just gives it a pop of flavor. And I'm just going to cut some butter up in there. Sometimes I put it in the flour and mix it. Sometimes I don't. It's just so it's in there. What happens is it forms little balls of butter in there, and then as it bakes, they pop, and they give you that wonderful moist biscuit. So I'm just mixing this up. This is the same way you would kind of do dumplings or any kind of dough mixture. And it just depends on the dumplings. You just make them a little stiffer with the flour. So let me switch out my canisters. I'm going to put just a drab more flour in here because it's just a little bit moist. Do what, Mama?
I'm going to put some of this up, give you a little more room.
Well, thank you, Mama. So that's what I want. I want it to where it's just a good wet consistency. It pulls away from the sides a little bit, but it's not dry by no means. Because I'm going to add more flour right here. So I'm going to put this on my board just like this. And then I'm going to dump all this very wet dough out. I like to leave mine wet because I don't want dry biscuits. I want good, soft biscuits. And I want them to be tender. So I don't want to overwork my dough. And I don't want it all dried out. And I want to get all of it out. If you're going to take time to make something, then take time to get it out of the bowl. A lot of people don't like to do that, but we don't waste. We'll rake and ping and paint around on them bowls till we get every drop of it out. If I had a spatula or something, that would have been easier. But I got the good out of it. Now my hands are clean. I've washed them several times this morning. So all I'm going to do is just pull this flour up on here. If anybody ever told you you couldn't make biscuits, or if you ever thought you couldn't make biscuits, they're wrong. You can. You've seen how quick and easy that was and what I've done. So I'm just patting this flour out on here just to keep it really from sticking to my hands. Pulling it in, pulling it up from the bottom. Making a good soft, it's like a cloud. When you feel it, it should feel soft, it should feel pliable. If you're making dumplings, you want it to be firmer, and you would keep working it more and more, because dumplings are different. You want them to hold together, you want them to be the flour to be kind of tough to where you can pick it up without it falling apart. It'll just fall plumb apart. So this, you can see, I'm just working that little bit of flour in here into these biscuits. Now this is alive, so if you want to stay to the finished product, we'll be here a minute, because these biscuits will have to cook for about 12 minutes, 14 minutes. So as you see, I'm not really working the dough, I'm just working some flour in it. Now it's firm enough I can pick it up and I fold it over. What I'm doing now is creating air pockets in there, and that's going to create layers in my biscuits too. And I folded it 2 times there. Just going to pick it up, fold it again. I can feel the little knots of butter in there, and that's great. Don't have no problem with that, because when they get hot, they melt, and you have a wonderful buttery biscuit. Now I don't know that you could pick this dough up. Probably couldn't, but I don't want to be able to pick it up, because these are biscuits, this isn't dumplings. Now all I'm going to do, I don't roll and all that. I just press it out to where it's about 1/2 inch thick, and that's basically all I do. So now I just take my little biscuit cutter, and I'm going to put it in some flour. Let me see if y'all can see this part. Sorry, don't have the best setup here. Mama, can you move that box right there, honey?
Sure can.
Thank you. Let me get you all a little bit wider scope here. Can you see now? All right, I think you can see. I can see. So I'm just going to go start around the edges, and I just put it in there and pull it straight up. I don't want to twist, because when you twist, your biscuits don't rise as well. So I just put it in there, pull it straight up. If it stays, that's fine, because that's just part of your scraps. Pull it straight up, pull it straight up, and then I just load my pan here, just like that. Peel back the scraps, pick that biscuit up. You could have probably put a little bit more flour, because they're starting to, a little bit. That one's better. And all I'm doing is just load my pan. Let's see if these are, this may need a little bit more working, a little bit more flour, because they're not able to pick them up. If that happens, all you have to do is just pull all your scraps, pull your dough in there, re-pat it out, get down to another 1/2 inch, pick it straight up. Yep, these are better. Straight up. Pull off your excess, get your biscuit. I tuck them in good and tight, because I want them to rise. If I'm going to have any gap, I want it to be around the edges. The tighter you put them in your skillet like this, you want them to touch, then that you're going to have a better rising biscuit. We don't leave any scratch, because there's another biscuit, maybe two in here. And I'm sure at the end there'll be a baby biscuit. Mama always fixed me a baby biscuit. I always look forward to that. And it was just a little biscuit, and I felt like she made it just for me. Little did I know it was just because she had leftover.
No, it was just for you.
She's still trying to make me feel good about it.
I would make bigger biscuits than what I
And there is, well, Mama didn't cut hers, so I guess she did make me a special one. And right here will be a baby biscuit. And all I did is just rolled up my leftover dough, tuck it right there on the side. If you got a grandkid or even a grown son who still likes them,
Strong baby.
then you can make them a baby biscuit. Make them feel special, or make them feel like there's a kid again. Now you can see here, the dough wasn't too wet because I've already cleaned my hands off just by rubbing them together over my mat. Don't want a big mess. Now, Mama's gonna put the buttermilk up because she's feisty like that.
Oh, you want buttermilk?
Yes,
too?
ma'am, please.
Sorry.
Mama puts it right up now. She don't wait.
Clean. Get stuff away.
Here's some flour. Let's see what y'all are saying. Y'all might be saying something I need to hear. You are so blessed. That is so true, Linda. I truly am. Here's your, sorry. This is a little step I do. Just gonna set this right up here so y'all can see it. This will make your biscuits golden brown, and it takes any loose flour off. And it's a simple process. Just shake the buttermilk up and pour a little bit in my hand. I don't measure it. I'd say that's a good, what did you say, a tablespoon? And then I just sort of put it over the top of my biscuits. And then I pat them. Just like this. This makes them good and smooth. Takes off any loose dry flour. And it makes them beautiful golden brown. And there you go. That's a pan of homemade biscuits. So y'all hold on just a second. Like I say, we're on a live, so you gotta hang in with me. Someone put these in the easy bag. Hold on.
You need to put it down, remember?
Oh, no, I didn't remember, Mama. Actually, I put it in the wrong place. Was that smart or was that smart? As Mama just reminded me, you want to put your rack lower. You don't want it up against the top. Let me wash my hands in some water, and then we can chat. Now, what I want to show you here is our coffee. Let's go back to the coffee. These mats are wonderful. If you don't have a mat, I recommend them. They wash easy. Take your whole mess, put it in the sink, and you're done. A little wipe and a little swipe, and you're done. See, there we are, clean counter. All right, the coffee is doing its thing. Let's look at it here. So this is what you're looking for. Can y'all see the coffee through that dark lid? You can hear it rolling. That means your coffee's perking. Now what's going on here is that water I put in the bottom is shooting up through that tube in the middle. It's coming down over the grounds and going back to the bottom, shooting back up. So what I'm doing is I'm making coffee with coffee. In a drip, you put the water in the back of it. It drips down over top of your beans, and then it's done. This way, I'm literally making coffee with coffee. So let's take this on over. Sorry for the movement. That's one of the things about a live, is you do get a lot of extra movement. Let's get set up here. Let me show you the goodness. Show you the specialty. I still got just a drop of coffee left, and I have drank 8 cups. this morning. I'm going to cut back someday. Maybe. So let's look at our coffee. Because that's what this video is really about. Is this wonderful Percolator stovetop coffee pot. You can get these in 8 and 12. I do have a 12. But if I use the 12, I'd be drinking 24 cups. I know. So this is it. So let's take you don't have to take the lid off, but let me pour you a cup. Look at this rich, delicious, look at that hot coffee. Now you people who don't drink coffee because you say it's bitter, the reason your coffee is bitter is a drip does not get hot enough to take care of that bitterness. This will. You're boiling this, and that's the difference. And it boiled, and it churned there for about 3 or 4 minutes. I heard someone say they boiled theirs for 7 minutes and let it rest. I'm not big on resting. Not that that's not better. I just don't have those patience. Those patience skills are not in my way of thinking. So this is hot coffee, and it's not bitter. Mama, what would you say the coffee? Do you think it's bitter?
No.
That was always one of Mama's complaints about her or the drip, was it's just bitter, and a lot of people say that, but this is not bitter.
I'm not a big coffee drinker. I just started drinking it in the last few years.
Last few years, but she does drink a pot about every morning. Mama, have you a pot? Have you a cup?
Have
Drink
your
a pot.
pot.
She drinks a cup. My words, I don't know if I've got what they call COVID fog or what, but I've been saying the wrong things. Mama said last night, I said something about, was talking about the goulash, and I said something about chili. What's it, Mama?
Something.
I just don't look it all the time. You have to listen to what I mean, not what I say. I love coffee, Tracy. I do too. Yummy. Pour me another cup. Yeah, it's that good. Now, Mama will doctor hers up with some French vanilla.
Just about a half a cup.
Half a cup for Mama. But look at that. You can tell it's just good, wonderful coffee. If you've had, if you have thought about, I would drink if it wasn't bitter, try this. Try this actual Percolator stovetop coffee. This is what my mom and papa have done. This is the way Granny made hers. Now my granny, she had a certain big coffee cup that she drank out of, and she had a melamine. Mama said that word for me. Is it melamine?
Melamac.
Melmac. Whatever the dish of the day was back in the 70s. But it was a brown bowl. It was about that deep. And about that big around. And she'd put her coffee cup in the middle of that. And she would pour her coffee and just let it overflow around that cup. Fill that about half full of that Melamac bowl. And she'd set it there at her breakfast table with her cornflakes. And she would sip out of that. She'd take the cup out. And I don't know why she put it in there. I don't know why she would just drink it out of the bowl, but that's how she would do it. She'd put her cup out and then she'd saucer her coffee.
A lot of people saucered their coffee back then.
And that was really what she would have for breakfast, was the saucer coffee. Then she would take her cup with her and she'd be on her way to the porch or to her chair or wherever she's ready to go then. Now this is way too hot to drink. And I know you all have told me about scalding my tongue and scalding my throat, and I don't do that, but I do like to just sip it. If nothing else, I just like to put my face on it and let it smell some of it. But I'll be drinking this for just a few seconds here. Looks yummy. I love Perk coffee. Sue, it's wonderful. It really is. It's a true essence of coffee for me. Michael says I've never had. Michael, you've never had it? You've never tried it? You've never even sipped a sip? Wow. I know a lot of people who just have never liked it, but they've tried it. I put a pinch of honey in my coffee. Now, Chrissy, I think that would be great. I will do flavored coffees. I'll see me every once in a while at night. I'll come on, I'll have cream. It'll be pumpkin spice in the fall. It'll be, sometimes I put a little something different in it. The creams you buy. Every once in a while, Great Moon, I'll put French vanilla. That's not my favorite. Now, I do like French vanilla in cold coffee. But I want, other mornings, I want pear black coffee. Now my coffee this morning, I didn't hardly drink the whole pot. It had gotten cold and I poured out probably a cup or so of it just to show you all how to make another pot. But now in normal circumstances, I would not have done that. Now what I will do with this is, I've got a carafe over here. I'll run some hot water in that and I'll let it get good and warm, and then I'll transfer my coffee out of here into that carafe, and that's what I did earlier, and I've drunk what was in there. And it'll stay hot. It'll stay good and hot. You don't want to overcook your coffee. You don't want to just keep cooking it and cooking it. And you microwave people, I don't care for, I call it gray coffee. For me, once I put it in the microwave, it loses that rich black deliciousness and it gets a gray color. I don't like the microwave coffee. But now Mama can tell you, I'm not big on microwave. If we're having soup or chili, especially anything liquidy, I want it put on the stove and heated. I don't like it heated in the microwave. Now I'll cook in the microwave, a microwave dinner, or heat up a piece of pizza, or put popcorn in it. But when I don't get the consistency of the heat, and I'll have a cold spot and a hot spot, and I don't like that. I'm even struggling sometimes to reheat a plate of food, and that's one reason I like, and this isn't a Tupperware commercial, but I like the Tupperware vent serves because it does heat evenly, and I can pop that vent, leave the lid on, everything in the bowl gets good and hot at the same time, and I do like that. That has really opened my ability to be able to heat food in the microwave. I just missed somebody said something about they did on the grill. Now when you're camping, this is good as camping coffee. This is like camping coffee. It says my granddad, the comments are going so quick. Norma says my granddad saucered his coffee. He would always say, my cup runneth over. Isn't that sweet? Granny always saucered hers. Now my mama's mama, she was a tea drinker, hot tea drinker, and she would do the same thing with her tea, only she truly did use just a flat saucer, and she would sip from the saucer. Now Granny, she didn't mess around. She was like me, I guess. You know, I told you all last night I was a lot like Granny. Granny bowled hers. You can call it saucer, but she used a bowl. It was probably a serving bowl of that milk. I like to have that bowl just because it was just a brown bowl, just brown. It's about that big around, and it was that. I guess it was plastic. Is that what it is, Mama?
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be better than just plain plastic.
Better than plain plastic.
It's melon.
Melon. Are the biscuits done or they just go off?
They just went off, but I think they're done enough.
Okay, you want to bring them over and let us look at them? And we'll wrap it up, folks, and we'll finish up our brunch. I got up early, had some coffee, had a fruit bar, done a little work, try to organize a little.
A little browner.
No, those are fine. Those look great. And now I'm ready for brunch, breakfast. Here are the biscuits. So you all saw these from beginning now to the table. Let me lower you down a little bit so you can really see that goodness. And they're just good and browned. And see how golden brown they are on top. That was the buttermilk. See how they rose up a little bit? That was a little bit of baking powder. And they're delicious. I haven't tried one, but it's the way I make them. So, Mama approves, and that's why I like here with Mama approves. We are feeling better, Betty. Mama's feeling better than me, quicker than me anyway, because I got to hold her down. I got to say, Mama, just because you feel a little better don't mean you have to, get too active here. I have good days and bad days. Yesterday was a better day, probably than this morning. But I'm still well this morning. I still feel good. I'm up and going. I have a little bit of a headache. Someone asked me yesterday, how long does the headache last? I'll let you know when it's over. I still have it up the back of my neck and on the side of my head. It's sinus pressure, I'm assuming, but it is coming and going now. So you folks that are suffering from it, those days when it just don't stop, it does get better. Because you think you're going to run or jump or scream when that head starts hurting so much. Is it good, Mom?
Yeah, pretty good coffee.
It's not too bitter or nothing, is it? Mama's over here finishing up. The
What
sausage is
makes
done.
it bitter sometimes is if you perk it too long and too hard.
Yeah, you can overcook it, but get into a high temperature. 120 degrees is the optimal temperature, but you want to get it hot enough. And if you're buying a drip matic, you can find some that say that they get it to 120, 125 degrees. I've not used one in a long time, probably a year and a half now, but even at work we switched over to percolator, electric percolator. I was talking to y'all yesterday about this one. Now you can't like start this one and run to the shower. You can't start this one and go on your way. You really need to stay with it because it'll boil, and you want to be there to take it off. And it's on a tea kettle, so don't whistle. So you don't get a lot of an alert, except you'll have a dry pot and you'll burn it up. But the electric percolators, you can fix them, turn them on, and they'll perk and they'll turn off. You can get that option on them, so that's still an option. I do have some electric percolators. I got a beautiful orange one from the 70s that I bought at an estate sale, and it still works. But the cord is one of those older cords, and I don't like to leave it, so I still guard it too. I may look and buy me an electric one, a new one, just so I can have the convenience of turning it on and going back to my business and then coming back and getting my coffee and be done. So you can have it the best of both worlds if you want to. The biscuits look, what'd you say? Look delicious and better, and you're good to go. Yeah. We're having Mama's sweet potatoes. I cut them up, peeled them, cut them up, put them in there slow and low. That's where you want to cook a good sweet potato. And you can add a little maple syrup to them if you want to. Pancake syrup is what I'm talking about. Just pour it on top of them, let them cook in there a little bit. But Mama just wants plain old sweet potatoes and gravy and biscuits. And are you doing the gravy, Mom?
I'm ready for you to do it.
She's getting the gravy ready for me too, which is a cue to get over here and finish this brunch and let's eat. And I got work for you to do. We are going to work on some cookbooks today, and I'm sure Mama's got some more stuff laid out here to do. We'll be popping back on later, I'm sure, for something later. And we'll probably have goulash for lunch, but who needs lunch? It's 11 o'clock. This is a late brunch, so we'll do supper, and I'm not sure what we'll end up doing. Mama's had 2 or 3 ideas. So we'll see, and we'll pop back on later and say hey to y'all. And you all have a great day. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday. I hope it's as pretty today as it was yesterday. Here it's a little cloudy, a little overcast, but that's okay too. We'll take what we get. And we're going to... I know, Mama. You've been behind the cameras for 2 times now.
Yeah.
Because you've been busy. You've been up stirring and working.
I cleaned the counter off for you and everything.
I know. You want to show them your sweet potatoes that you finished up?
I'm not finished. I just kept so they wouldn't stick.
My mama's a good cook. She taught me everything I know. So here's our fried sweet potatoes. Look at that.
Plain old sweet potatoes.
Plain old sweet potatoes. No frills, no thrills, just sweet potatoes. And I normally would have just put butter in the pan and then put them in there. But this day, I put a little vegetable oil.
And I snuck and put a little butter.
I put a little bit of butter too. You can cheat with some vegetable oil and a pat of butter. It'll flavor that vegetable oil. And you can have the flavor, but not all the cholesterol that comes along with it. So we're going to say, y'all find you something good to eat today. Make you some memories. And we'll be back on here probably before the day's end and just check in with y'all. But I promised y'all I'd show you some percolator coffee. And I did. I didn't do it at 5 o'clock this morning though, so that was good. And so
it was nice to the people.
That's right. I like to get up early. My body says coffee, so I have to run to the kitchen as soon as I wake up and get me some coffee going. So this is cool enough for me to drink.
Oh yeah, I've done took a drink.
And it's so good. Folks, try you some percolator coffee. If you don't want to go out and buy one, they're a little expensive on Amazon anyway. But you can find them at estate sales, yard sales, all kinds of places. So, and I don't worry about these if I find them at a yard sale or something. If they're in good shape, I will buy one. The electric ones, you want to watch those, but you can have them recorded. There's people who can do that. But anyway, find you some good percolator coffee. At least give it a try and see if you want to switch over. And you can still use your drip and your Keurig. And I've got the Keurig and I've got the drip. I just don't use them. If I have company, a lot of times they want the Keurig and I have it ready for them, or they'll want just plain old drip. They don't like the percolator. The percolator is a stronger flavor, but you can make it as strong as you like. You see me putting the coffee in the basket. If you make it as a little strong, cut back a little bit the next time. So we're going to eat these hot biscuits, and we're going to say, you all have a great day.
Eat those sweet potatoes.
Find you something good to eat, and I'm going to go over here and make my mama some gravy. Say goodbye, Mama.
Goodbye, Mama, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.